Hey, what's up team? Welcome back to my channel and to this final episode of this series of my 10-week full body transformation. Now I know this video has been a little bit late, but do bear with me. I'll explain why in a second. And look, I'm excited to share with you my 10-week transformation. You know, there's been good bits, there's been bad bits. You know, I've had to travel last minute, work kind of really sped up as well on me, and there were things that were unexpected. So I'm gonna try and keep this as authentic as possible, and I want you to get from this video is that body fat and dropping body fat takes time. Going too slow or going too fast when it comes to a weight loss journey, you know, they can be as bad as each other. So I think finding a sweet spot is ideally what everyone should aim to do. Now, for me, I probably set goals that were a little bit too outside of my reach, and I wasn't prepared to sacrifice seeing friends, going on family vacations in order to get that number, and also just feeling like crap. Like when you drop your calories so much, you feel so weak, your gym sessions are crap, you have no energy for work, you have no energy for your family, and I wasn't prepared to kind of pay that cost. I would rather the journey take a little bit longer, maybe another 3 or 4 weeks, but I just have fun along the way. And that was a big thing that I learned going on this journey recently, which I kind of already knew, but I think when you put yourself through the process, every now and then, it just really solidifies what you already know and what you believe is right. So yes, look, body fat reduction takes time, you know, and I think we'll share and I'll show you the results on the screen in just a minute, and you'll see how the results were good for sure, given what was happening in my life, but it's not gonna stop there. I'm gonna carry on with this journey, and you know, I'm excited to probably reach my goal of about 12 or 30% body fat, probably in about 4 or 5 weeks time. So anyway, that's enough talking for now. Let's get to the computer and I'll show you exactly how those last stats came in. Right, so let's take a closer look at the results. So let's click progress. And before we go into the pictures, let's look at what I actually achieved in the 10-week time frame. So I was able to drop from 84.3 kilos to 79.8. Okay, so about 5 kilos, give or take, 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Let's look at body fat percentage. So I went from 21.5 to 16.5, not bad. And then this is quite interesting. So fat mass in terms of weight, 18.1 to 13.2. So that's 5 kilos of fat. So I didn't lose much muscle during this phase. So if you look at lean mass, well, according to this, I actually added it a little bit. So 66.18 and ended up at 66.55. Now this is a combination of obviously diet, nutrition, huge part, but mainly is the resistance training. I was prioritizing weights. So that's going to signal to the body to keep muscle, and in some cases actually add a little bit. But I'll see that as probably as a net return. So that's really good during a cutting phase to be able to hold on to this much muscle mass. Let's look at the actual measurements, because you'll see where most of this weight came off. And as guys, you know that most of the weight that we hold tends to be around our midsection. So if we zoom out a bit more, so my waist started at 89 centimeters and then 81 centimeters. So that's quite a big drop in terms of purely the waist measurement. And you'll see on the pictures how that reflects as well. Now, just quickly before we look at pictures, that last week, let's go back. So I was traveling this week here to go to Portugal, so it wasn't ideal. So I still managed to get my sessions in. My steps were all over the place. Some days I did more than 8,000, some days I did less. So the average was probably about 8,000 for the week. Nutrition, I just made sure high protein, keeping the fats moderately low. So that was fine. And that's why we got quite a nice little kind of drop here despite traveling, because traveling is always difficult. Plane food, airports, it's never easy. But that was cool. So let's look at the pictures, how it actually looks on physique wise. So this was the end result, which isn't bad. Still have a lot more to lose, but I want you to pay attention to this midsection here, because this was where most of the drop happened. If we look back at my first picture from the front, look how puffy and how much wider this bit here is. So that was a huge difference. You can also really see on the back picture. So this is day one. Again, not a lot of definition and holding most of my weight around the midsection. And then the last set of pictures was here. So really starting to like taper in this way. And this isn't bad. This was me at, what was it, 16% body fat. So this is what I mean. Everyone kind of holds body fat differently. So what was the body fat? Let me just double check the percentage. Let's go to here. Body fat. Yeah, 16.6. So for me, if I get down to 11, 12, that's very lean for me. So let's look at the comparisons when it comes to the pictures. I think this is where it really shows. So look at that, day one and 10 weeks later. Now guys, bear in mind, this was far from a perfect plan. I had to travel, I was out with friends, I was drinking alcohol, I didn't cut carbs, but I still managed to achieve this sort of result, and I didn't hate the process, and that's really important. Yes, I didn't achieve my goal of 12 or 13%, I finished at 16, but I had fun along the way. And it's not to say that once I get to here, I can't keep going. So this really shows that where men tend to hold body fat, yes, you're going to tone up your arms and your legs a bit, but it's always around the midsection for guys. And I think the other picture where you can really see is the back picture. Again, day one and 10 weeks later. Okay, a lot smaller waist, trouser size went down by 1 notch, and just a lot more definition in the upper back as well. Still need a bit more work to do with this midsection here. A little bit. It's just where I hold most of my body fat, is in that lower kind of abdomen area. But we just need more time, right? As I mentioned before, it's about not going too aggressive, taking your time with fat loss. And if I just continue from this position and keep doing what I was doing for another 4 or 5 weeks, the result will be even better. But I had fun along the way. Still drank alcohol, still saw friends, went to a few parties, went on holiday, had to fly with business, and that was the kind of result that we got. So let's look at nutrition. Again, it's been all over. I've started again. We're in April now. So this is a bit all over the place. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you guys the result. First and foremost, what's possible. And that was only 10 pounds of weight. That was only 5 kilos of weight. And that's how different a physique can look. Now, again, what have I learned from this journey? If we go back to the calendar, there was one thing that really stuck out to me, like massively, was doing, when you are in such a big calorie deficit and you have 5 days of back-to-back weights. I remember this Thursday session being absolutely agony, and it was so painful. I had no energy. I felt dizzy. It was horrible. So what I've learned is that prioritizing weights is great because I was able to maintain lean mass. If you look at my frame, again, let's just go back at this picture. It doesn't look like I've lost that much muscle mass. And we can see from the stats I haven't. If we look at lean mass here, as you can see, if we zoom out a bit more, the lean mass, 66 point, let's say 2, and I ended up at 66.5, right? So I actually gained a bit of mass, but the only reason I was able to gain a bit of mass was, it be net roughly, was because I was prioritizing weights. And if you look at the pictures once again, it doesn't look like I've lost that much muscle really. I'm just a lot more toned. So why was that? A few things. High protein, lots of weight training. But what I would do differently next time is I would have like a rest day here and then do another 2 sessions here and have another rest day here. Because this session was absolutely rubbish. So was this one. This one was more so. And by here, I was just lifting whatever I could. Not great for performance. So I would have a rest day in the middle, but I would still continue to prioritize resistance training. And that is the beautiful thing about resistance training. The goal, in my opinion anyway, during a fat loss phase is not to get skinny fat and just get skinny. It's to maintain some level of muscle, but you just look leaner. You just prioritize that burning fat. So you have to prioritize weight training. What else would I do differently? With regards to calories, I wouldn't go as aggressive. I would take it a bit more steady. So if we go to nutrition here, yeah, so look, at one point I was doing 1600. Like, that is very, very low for someone of my size. And, you know, I was kind of going above a little bit most days. Look, 17, 18. So I would rather probably like pump this up to maybe 19 or 1800. And it just take a little bit longer, and I'm still chipping away at body fat, but I have more energy in the gym. I have more energy at work, energy with the family. And I also don't want to binge as much because my calories are not so low. So I think, long story short, fat loss takes time and you want to be consistent with it, right? So that's all for now. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Feel free to add them in the comments below. And guys, I'm going to carry on with this journey. This will be the end of this season, but what you'll see from now on going forwards is there'll be a lot more kind of content around education, nutrition, exercise, and every now and then I'll keep you guys updated with my kind of physique, how I'm looking, what I'm changing, what I'm doing differently. And also because the goal for me is still to get to around 13% body fat. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.